What if you could transform your CAD designs into immersive, interactive experiences that not only engage customers, but also drive sales? Welcome back to the Manufacturing Connector, where we spotlight cutting-edge solutions shaping the future of manufacturing. I'm your host, Jim Mayer, and today we're thrilled to explore immersive product experiences with Schuyler Van Sickle from 3Mera. With 3Mera's revolutionary platform, manufacturers can turn complex CAD designs into interactive virtual showrooms, offering powerful sales tools and creating unforgettable customer experiences. And if you're interested in the personal journeys behind the industry's advancements, check out my other show, the Manufacturing Culture Podcast, where we dive into the lives and experiences of the people behind the work. Today, Schuyler will show us how 3Mera can streamline your sales journey, build stronger distributor relationships, and let your team showcase products like never before, all without the usual headaches. Let's get started. Welcome, Schuyler, to the Manufacturing Connector. How are you doing today?
Hey, Jim. Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm doing pretty good today. We actually
Awesome.
were just at the Colorado Manufacturer Network Awards last night as a finalist.
Oh, very cool, man. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Schuyler, tell us a little bit about you. How did you end up talking with me today?
Yeah. Well, that's a long story. I'll try and make it somewhat brief. But born and raised here in Colorado, just outside of Denver. Went to school up here. I've been really entrepreneurial my whole career. Like right out of college, started a company growing live food for saltwater aquariums and shipping those to doorsteps.
Wow.
Basically, bags of saltwater that people use to keep their fish alive, right? Yeah, entrepreneurial the whole time. Have had my ups, have had my downs. Right now, it feels like an up, which is probably how I got to meet you.
All right, fantastic, man. And how'd 3Mera come about?
Yeah, so 3Mera, as a team, we've been working in the field of call it AR, VR, 3D for over 2 years now. And at first, where most of the market was kind of like entertainment or gaming stuff, and we got to learn a lot about like how people want to interact with this new type of technology, really this new frontier of technology, if you will. We even sit on some standard setting boards called the Metaverse Standards setting, which is made up of all the big characters that are working on web standards for this next wave of internet technology, if you will. And so playing around with that, we started getting requests from different complex tool manufacturing companies to start doing this for them, essentially. And what we found is that, we could drive a lot more value for manufacturers who, are selling, who are generally selling complex tools that you can't log easily into a room with you, right? Maybe you're dealing with distributors, so you have to rely on other people selling your products, right? Maybe photos and videos don't exactly give you the content coverage you have, and that expense of markups and studio services and all that is expensive already. So, we were able to cut out 80% of the complexity of going 3D and drive a lot more value using CAD files is what we got.
I love it.
So we've been focusing in the manufacturing space and helping manufacturing communities for the last 9 to 12 months, you could say. But really starting to connect out here in Colorado. If anybody's in Colorado, NTMA, CAMA, Manufacturers Edge, and all the MEPs have been extraordinary in helping us like really start to solve problems.
That's awesome. And so what does 3Mera do?
Yeah. So what I like to say is we have a CAD to market solution. What does that mean? Well, on one side of the fence, you have engineers with CAD files, right, who are already developed. In fact, 95% of products are developed in CAD using 3D already, right? Okay. And then on the other side of the fence, you have marketers and salespeople who don't always have access to those CAD files, let alone would have to use a whole new service. Maybe as a marketer, you're waiting for a product to be finished so that you can get a product off of the sample line, ship that to a studio, have to manage all the photos and markups and all of that nonsense. And what we're saying is, hey, you're already in 3D. why not turn that into photorealistic 3D full content coverage, right?
Okay.
As a way to really like cut those costs and give the marketers what they need without having to rely on an expensive engineer's time, right? And engineers oftentimes, they're working on so many things, developing new products, new revenue streams, and sometimes they don't have the time. Well, let's say 90% of all the time they don't have the time to or something like that, right? To give the marketers what they need.
Yeah, awesome.
So we're helping to bridge that gap.
So who is your ideal customer?
Yeah. Right. We really work well with OEMs. Like if you have a complex product with a lot of parts, and as a customer, I'm having to call you and dial number one to order parts, like that's us. Like we help streamline that process. We help them be able to order the parts on the post-production side, but also on the sales side. Now you have your complex product that you can explain really easily in 3D. You can even put it into AR into their facility with no app download needed. Could be a tablet, a cell phone. You can use it on your desktop or even the headsets, of course. Right?
Yeah.
The headsets. So we've seen a lot of our customers like using these at trade shows to be able to demonstrate more of a product line without the shipping costs of getting the entire product line there, or just online. A lot of what we have found is, they say 2 out of 3 are saying that going online and going to e-commerce is a high priority. Mm-hmm. Yet also 2 out of 5 manufacturing executives are saying that this is also a top business challenge. So,
got it.
Also being able to create a powerful e-commerce website, right?
Got it.
Out of these types of tools.
And so, what are some success stories? I mean, you're relatively new. What are some success stories that you have?
Yeah. Well, our first customer that really got us into the space came to us 9 months before they actually started manufacturing their product. They wanted to, test it in the market. Like it was somewhat of a complex product. It's sold in the flooring space for people that, contractors that do, installers that do flooring, right? As a way for them to get off their knees, yet make sure that they can polish and buff very effectively. And so obviously that's kind of complex and there's a lot of other use cases for it too. But he needed a good way to be able to demonstrate that so he could start bringing it to distributors, which he's done, opening up a program of over 3,600 different distributors in the U.S.
Got it. Awesome, man. Well, I don't want to push you too fast, but can we see this sucker in action?
Yeah, sure. I'll show it here. Love to. And you got to see a sneak peek of the DeLorean demo that we just. I hope we have some like Back to the Future fans.
Yeah, absolutely. That was pretty cool.
But I'll demonstrate it here. But I also would encourage anybody to, go to find us on LinkedIn. You can also find this on our website at 3mera.com. It's up in the tabs on demos. It kind of gives you a whole view of the OEM experience where we can actually do full animations just like they would in movies, right?
Very cool.
From your CAD file. The other really big feature here is the parts view, so that we can essentially segment the different parts for somebody to be able to easily go in and click on. Let's say we need a new fusion reactor, right? So now we can click on that and go ahead and order our fusion reactor, or make sure we got the proper specs or any questions that we might have. We can upload all of that additional content to make sure that we're time traveling safely, let's say, in this case. So we got different features like that, size views. This button here does augmented reality. So if you are on your mobile device, there you go. You got a QR code you can scan and be able to put this right there in your driveway. Check it out.
That's cool.
Yeah, a bunch of different features like this. And again, we're pulling essentially normally a step file, starting with the step file and envelope. IP is protected. You don't have to worry about that. Pull that into our platform, which is our self-serve is going live at the beginning of the year. So I can demonstrate that at some point, or you can check it out yourself. But pulls it in there, and as a marketer, you have all the tools you need to adjust the product details or attach different parts to your product to make those reordering capabilities really smooth for your customers.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So I'm a marketing team at a major OEM, and I contact you, Schuyler, and say, hey, we've got these complex parts. I really would love to use this. So they give you their CAD drawings. You create all of this on your own, or does the software do that instantaneously?
So right now it's a semi-manual process. We're treating this really as a service to make sure that our customers are super happy at the end, and we're building features right now. But all those features go into the platform so that their teams can start doing this themselves as well.
Very cool.
So kind of like this semi process right now until we make sure that everybody's happy on using it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and just to be more specific about the OEMs, it's not just car machinery manufacturers. Let's think CNC manufacturers, big machines where your customer has to travel to your facility to check it out because you can't go send them to one of their competitors to check out your machines, right? They can see that, visualize that in their own space at high fidelity, right?
Got it.
Be able to order those parts afterwards, so it can be used in distribution if you have like a show floor that you're having to work through with distributors, different aspects like that. So yes, all different types of OEMs.
Wow, that's really neat, man. I mean, this may be one of the shorter episodes that we have, but this is a really cool solution that you guys have here. And I've worked for a number of organizations. I've worked in distribution. I've worked for OEMs, and this level of detail hasn't really existed on websites before, right? And so I think this is a really neat solution for complex cutting tools for
let's call it Industry 4.0, right?
Yeah.
And that's where we're going. And what we found is manufacturers have the assets they need already to leapfrog this old e-commerce of images and videos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Manufacturing, like, it's coming back, it's going forward. Let's say blockchain, they call that Web 3.0, right? We got Industry 4.0 already, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're ready to do this thing. And this is just another method of what that digital transition looks like.
Yep. And we're already talking about Industry 5, right? Industry 5 is the interaction of the technology and humans, and that's the Industry 5, and this is kind of bringing that forward. So that's pretty neat, man.
Yeah. And what I will say, just like I was talking about these standards groups that are forming between Google, Microsoft, Facebook, or Meta, all the big companies out there using the internet. You've seen manufacturers like IKEA, for instance, a big multinational, multi-branded corporation. They've spent the last 20 years investing in digitizing, 3D rendering all of their products, because the cost of taking a couch and a chair and a lamp and a this and that, getting that to a studio, right? Managing the photographers, the videographers, the models, the markups, and then having to throw that away basically because you can't get it back to retail, right? Unbearable for the scale that they wanted to go 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So they've been investing in it, and from what I've understood, the past 10 years, they haven't taken a single product photo or product video. Wow. So everything you see on their website or in their app, showing your space, or even in print media is 100% rendered.
Wow, that's pretty interesting.
That's an example of the scale of cost savings and sales enablement that you have there.
Yeah. Schuyler, why did you choose the DeLorean from Back to the Future 2?
So one of my co-founders, he's like, this is it. This is like, we are going back to the future, and we were bringing futuristic stuff to manufacturing, right? And being a child of the 80s, right? This was it, right? For myself, I think it just, the team was excited to get behind it, right? We could really show something that, is like old becoming futuristic, or
Sure.
something legacy becoming futuristic, right? I just thought it was such a great storyline, and of course, we all love the movie. So
Yeah,
the movie,
absolutely. I just, I think, and maybe it's because I'm that older millennial, younger Gen
Mhm.
Xer, right? That where I think of the DeLorean, I go to the original movie, and this is really that two, and with the Mr. Fusion and all
Yeah,
of that, where they're flying, and that wasn't part of the original, but I love it. I love it, man. I think it's
yeah,
really cool. I love what you guys have been able to do with your software here.
right.
I think it's super it's a novel solution, and it captures an issue that a lot of those OEMs and manufacturers themselves, right? I mean, there are a lot of manufacturers out there, small to medium sized job
Mhm.
shops that are manufacturing complex parts for their customers, and to be able to show those customers based on CAD drawings exactly what it's going to look like in the
Mhm.
long run, it will be an important feature for them. So
Yeah,
well done, man. This is pretty
yeah.
cool.
Hey, thank you so much.
What kind of I mean, you told us I think tell us again, where can people find you?
Yeah, simple. 3mera.com. Number three, MERA, like America, but three in the front. 3merica, you could say, right? That's where you can find us. We're
Awesome.
also on LinkedIn, just companies 3mera. Easy to find, big green logo.
All right. And then last question I ask every guest, what haven't I asked you that you want to share with the audience?
Yeah. I guess what do I see in manufacturing that I think is, well, yeah, what do I see in manufacturing, I guess? I come from very much a startup, innovative, background and culture, right? And, being in Colorado, we're stuck between, Silicon Valley and Chicago, you could say,
Yeah,
right? And, what I've noticed is they're two very different cultures, but they're coming together, they're merging, like whether it's technology or manufacturing, it's all technology,
sure.
right? Whether it's soft or hard, with all the hard sciences out there and the hardware and all that stuff, right? And I'm really excited about that because I think that creates more community within the manufacturing community. We
Mm,
have all these MEPs all over the place helping to create community. That's what I'm really excited about, like being a part of, where we have all this technology at our hands, and I think we can really help, America's, U.S. industry really, come back onshore, become more advanced, like outcompete our global competitors. That's what I'm really excited about, and seeing these communities really come together and help each other. And part of that being CMMC. Let's talk more about CMMC because what is more natural to a software technology company. We can help, right? We can help with those
wow.
type of things,
Yeah.
right? And so we want to give back, and help manufacturing community really revolutionize the U.S.
Love it, man.
Yeah,
That great answer to your own question. And I appreciate you coming up with that one
clearly
because,
not planned. Did not
yeah,
not plan at all.
none of these episodes are planned, man. So thank you for your candor. Schuyler, thank you very much for joining us
Yeah,
today. This was awesome.
yeah,
I love the solution. Like I said on LinkedIn with this post, uh, it's just really cool. So thanks for being on, sharing your solution. Look forward to seeing what comes next out of Threemera.
yeah, Jim. Thanks a bunch. I'll talk to you again soon. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's
And
the next,
folks,
what's the next trade show?
next trade show will be IME West in
West.
February of 25.
There it is. You heard
There
it
it
from
is.
Jim here first.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the first one of 25 for me. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on another episode of the Manufacturing Connector. Schuyler Van Sickle from Three Marrows shared how this really cool, immersive, CAD driven virtual showroom can transform how you showcase and sell your products. From empowering your sales teams to delivering unforgettable customer experiences, Three Mara is redefining what is possible in product marketing. To dive deeper, check out Three Mara's website, like Schuyler said, for a demo and see their tools in action. And if you're interested in hearing more about the people driving this industry, don't miss the next episode of the Manufacturing Culture Podcast. If you found this episode helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with others who might benefit from this awesome technology. Stay tuned to the Manufacturing Connector for more insights, tools, and techniques transforming manufacturing every day. Thanks for watching.